This is Friday's Flavor, a show about entrepreneurship in New York. Every Friday, I interview a different business owner or not for profit. We talk about what inspired them, what challenges they faced, and their number one tips and tools to doing business in the Big Apple. Don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that notification bell. Happy Friday! Happy Friday, everybody. It's your girl JoJo coming at you from Schenectady with Friday's Flavor. And today we are talking with Liska Wilson of She's a Boss. Hit the subscribe button to support New York business owners, entrepreneurs, and non-for-profits. That's what we're all about here. We're going to have a conversation today about She's a Boss, which is an amazing non-for-profit based here in the capital region. And the lovely Liska heads it up. She's a Boss is an Albany, New York based not for profit that connects collegiate women to people and opportunities that will help them to make power moves. That's all you need to say. Like, that's what else is there to say? I think that's amazing. I'm all about mentorship and education and everything. And I'm just going to have Liska take it away and talk a little bit about herself and what inspired her to start this non for profit.
Hello, everybody. So, like JoJo said, I am Liska. I live in the capital region. I grew up in the capital region, but I'm originally from Jamaica. My family's from Jamaica. I spent the first few years of my life in Jamaica. So, I say that because that really is the root of my value system, and education was really a pillar in my household growing up. So, everything kind of started from there. I have to bring it all the way back to there. But to kind of fast forward it a little bit to really where that seed was really planted for She's a Boss, I was coming up on graduation from Siena College. I was studying marketing management and I wanted to do event planning, but I didn't want to stuff envelopes and pack gift baskets because that's what my internships look like. So I took the initiative to reach out to event planners in the area just to see if somebody would talk to me and give me some advice so that I could kind of skip some of those boring steps. So that's, I guess that's what they say about millennia sometimes. We just want to do things, we want to do it quick. So it's good and bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So yes. So long story short, I did get someone that got back to me. She actually took me out to lunch and had a conversation with me. At the time, I wasn't looking for a mentor. I was just looking for somebody to give me some tips, give me some insider information. But she offered to be my mentor. And one thing that really planted that seed was she told me, she said, if you want to plan events, just plan them. She said, put a group together and plan events for them. And that really was the start of it, because from there, that seed grew into, okay, so what topic am I bringing these people together on?
Yeah.
And that topic was mentorship and career development, because that's where I was in my life. And I saw that the people around me did not have those same opportunities. They were always asking me, well, how did you get a mentor? How are you going to this event and that event? Because my mentor was telling me, hey, you have to go to this event and that event. And so people are like, well, how are you getting to do this? So that is, where the topic for She's a Boss came about. And it really just morphed and transformed and grew from there. So it actually didn't start as a collegiate program. It started as, we're going to be in the community. We were doing events at the library. We're doing events at small businesses, and so bootstrapped that anywhere that wanted to host us, hey, we are in there. And
Yep.
that's what we did for the first few years. It's been almost a decade now, but for those first few years, we were just doing events in the community for women to learn about entrepreneurship, business, connect them to people who are already doing it. And that's where it started.
That's awesome. And so the program just kind of, was naturally step by step morphing into what it is today. And talk to me about maybe a couple of the women in the program who you've had the opportunity to meet and maybe some of their successes and, what mentorship has done for them.
So I would say that my biggest success story, and I'm really proud of this one, every time someone asks, like, well, what are some things that came out of it besides the mentorship that we do on the campuses, which is happens every spring, which is where the more direct group mentoring or one-to-one mentoring happens. My right hand woman, and she's a boss, her name's Ashley, and she works side by side with me. If this was a for-profit business, she would literally be on the paper as partner. But she is actually, I think, one of the most successful mentorship stories. And it has her mentorship relationship that we were able to set up for her has gone above and beyond what we had even laid out for the program at the time. And we had got her together with a digital marketing agency owner. And 3 years later, they still meet at least quarterly. She has helped her to grow her digital marketing business. She still meets with her, bounce ideas off of her. So I think she has the most successful mentorship. And that was literally just, she filled out the application. I was like, hey, this is going to be the perfect person for you. And totally more perfect than anyone could have ever imagined.
Yeah, that's crazy. And so she's found that a permanent sort of place because of that mentorship opportunity. And what is it like to be a mentor? What does it mean? I mean, in your opinion, what is the definition of a mentor? Because I think I almost have like this really broad idea and definition of what that could mean, but tell me what it means to you and She's a Boss.
For me, a mentor is someone that is going to be honest and candid with you. I've had many mentors since that first one where, again, she was just giving me an idea, just here's a suggestion based on my experience. So she's not doing the work for me. She might help me make the connections, but it's still up to me to do the work. So it's like you lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And I think the best way to explain it, I should also bring up sponsorship, because I think a lot of times people either intermingle the two or are not sure of the difference. Whereas a sponsor is someone that's going to vouch for you, which a lot of my mentors really have ended up being sponsors. But a sponsor is someone that is really going to speak up for you. If you need a job at a company they work at, they're going to tell the hiring manager, hey, look at Liska's resume. Whereas a mentor, in the same example, they may be somebody outside the company or even within the company, but they don't know that direct person. But they're going to tell you, hey, your resume should look like this. This might be somebody that you want to talk to in the company, go this route. So they're like your guiding light. So your mentor is like a guiding light, and your sponsor is going to hold your hands.
Wow, I like that so much. Okay, so that kind of that like narrows it down a little bit more for me. I think that to me makes a little bit more sense than what I was envisioning. It was a little less detailed. Now I know. No, that's and that's the thing. You got to know how to ask questions, and I think that's what makes your the women in your program so special is that they are already open to growth. I think the fact that you are looking for a mentor, that you want a mentor, says something about who you are as well. Because a lot of people are just like, I can do it. I know better. I know, I can do it on my own. I don't need anybody's help. And you know why I say that? Because I was that person.
I'm still that person in a lot of ways. I'm still that person. So I'm like, she's saying that, but here I am, not knowing what to say. Hey, I need some help. That's literally was a part of the intention I set last week. Was like, you need to ask for help when you need it, Liska.
Yes,
So
that's the
even though I
hardest
have
thing to do
mentors, it
too.
is. So even though I have mentors and like people that I know support me and I know are on my side, sometimes it's still hard for me to dial the number or send that email, like to the point where they know that I need something, they know that I want something. This is how great my mentors are. Like
Yeah.
they will kind of almost ask for me. Like even for She's a Boss during some of our fundraising, there's a woman that I worked with who I would consider her a mentor, and I was just trying to talk to them casually, okay, about, hey, can you check out what our sponsorship package and let me know how it looks to you guys? Because I know they have sponsored things in the past. So from a mentorship perspective, that's a smart thing to engage with them. Like, hey, can you look this over and how's this look? And they're like, this is great. And I did want to ask them to be a sponsor, but I didn't have, the kahunas enough to actually say those
Los
words.
cajones.
Yes, I did not have it. Okay. But they said to me, this looks great. And if for any reason you thought that maybe we could support you in any way, we would totally maybe want to sponsor you for like, $700, $900 or something like that. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you for that suggestion. I did end up emailing them later on, like, hey, I thought about what you said. I'd love if you be a sponsor, but that's just how much I'm still in that. Oh, I need help, but I don't know. I don't know if I should say something.
Yeah.
It's so hard. And so that says something about these women who are like, hey, I really want to grow. I want to be something so bad that I'm going to talk to people who have already done it because I'm going places. I think that those are women who know that they're going places and they're willing to do what it takes to
Mhm.
get there. And I think that's a special person. I think that they must be very special young women that you're dealing with. So what a blessing that must
Absolutely.
be to be
I
able to work with
agree.
them.
They
And
really are. They're amazing. I think in a lot of ways they're braver than I am. Because with the way our program runs, we give them a lot of leeway and a lot of autonomy to kind of drive the ship of what they want to get out of it. So, kind of in a nutshell, they get to choose a topic to create an event on their campus. And She's a Boss, again, we are essentially that guiding light for them of, hey, this is the process for planning an event. These are the
yeah.
pieces that you need. If you need a certain kind of person that you want to come on your campus and talk, we will connect you to them. And there has been schools that come up with topics, and I'm just like, wow, because there was this one campus, they said, we think there's a racism problem in our school, and we want to have an event that talks about racism on campuses and in the workplace. And I was like, wow, what do you need me to do?
Yeah.
So they really take it seriously, and they really are bold in the things that they want to accomplish themselves.
If I was a college woman right now who was interested in being a part of She's a Boss, what would I do? Who would I talk to? How would I go about that process?
So if you are a college woman interested in She's a Boss, so you must have either heard it from somebody or you saw it on social media or something, and you really just reach out. If we're not in like a recruitment season, you could literally just reach out and we'll make it happen for you, because we get on these campuses in a couple different ways. We target schools and we'll reach out to the career center or someone in student affairs to, hey, we want to bring this program onto your campus, and they will recommend students.
Hmm?
But there's also we've also done it in like the reverse, where we approach students who may have interacted with us, like, hey, if you want to do this event on your campus, you'll get us a faculty connects, and then we'll go from there. So whichever way it happens, we're putting some weight on them
Yeah.
to not necessarily prove themselves, but we're doing this together. We're not doing something for you. We're
Right.
all working together.
Exactly. That also shows a certain level of commitment and
Hmm.
investment. It's and that investment of time, you can't really handhold all the
Yeah.
time. Like when it comes to mentorship, there's two types of, in my opinion, two types of trainers, mentors, or teachers. There are direct, and there are more effective.
Hmm.
In I almost feel like there's a better word than effective for this, but I'll just
Influence, maybe, I think, is what
what is it?
you're going for. Influence.
No, it's not that either. There's something, it'll come to me, but I'll kind of describe what I mean too.
Okay.
A direct, let's say if I was a direct trainer and a trainee or a mentoree in this case asked me a question, uh, and it's let's say, what's the size of a piece of plywood? Uh-huh. The direct trainer or mentor is going to go 8 by 4.
Mm.
So, that covers 32 square feet. That's a direct, here's the information, here's the knowledge that you need. An effective trainer, or what's the word I'm thinking of? Whatever the other word is I'm thinking,
Mhm.
um, gets that question and goes, okay, you want to know the size of a piece of plywood? Have you ever seen a piece of plywood? And the mentor goes, well, yes. Okay, so you've been to Home Depot and seen them. Do you know what the sizes, the dimensions of a piece of plywood are? 8 by 4, I think. Maybe I think I've seen them. Aren't they 8 by 4? Yeah, yeah. So how many square feet does that cover?
Mm.
30 makes you think 32, so there's the person who gives you the answer, just here straight up, here's the answer. And then there's a type of trainer or mentor who will make you walk through the process, because that's the better way to learn for a lot of people. And you know, that's not to say that the direct trainer is wrong. Some people work better with a direct trainer, but the majority of people will learn information and absorb it and hold on to it for a very much longer period of time when they've been forced to walk through the process
I
and
know what
get
you
it done. Do you know what like
I
you?
know what you mean. I can't think of the word either, but I'm sure this may or may not be the word, but it's definitely related. But transformational, like a transformational leader, they make you think. So
Yeah.
they're not, so like I said, they're not just telling you this is how you do it. This is what do you have to think about
Yes.
to make it happen.
And oftentimes they're literally just walking you through something that you thought you didn't know, but that you already knew. And I
Yeah.
always use that example with the plywood, and I'll tell you why, because I used to work in the construction industry, and it was a question that I asked my trainer, and
Oh,
it was like the second time I'd asked, and the first time I called and asked this question, I got a very direct person on the phone. His name was Gary or Dana, excuse me, it was Dana. And he goes, oh, it's 32 square feet. It covers 32 square feet. Okay. Because I called and I was like, how much does a piece of plywood cover? 32 square feet, right? I hung up, didn't remember the information. I didn't retain that because I wasn't forced to go through the process. And then the second time I called, I got Lori. And Lori is 100% different type of trainer. And I said, Lori, how much, I forgot, how much square feet does a piece of plywood cover? And she goes, do you know what the dimensions of a piece of plywood are? And I said, well, I think they're 8x4, right? And she was like, yep. So how much is that? 8x4. Well, that's 32 square feet. She goes, there you go. Bye. I never forgot after that, like that. I never forgot that because she made it tangible. She made it understandable. And she made me realize I already kind of knew the answer. I just
yeah.
didn't know how to go through the process to get to that response. So I always use that example. She was a very, very good trainer, a
I
very good
think
trainer.
that is a great example of what a great mentor, does.
Hmm.
They bring you through a process. Like you said, like I said before, that guiding light, and that kind of goes right along with that. That light kind of lights up everything, but it kind of gives you some type of focus. Because like you said,
Yeah.
you know what the answer is. You just kind of need some guidance on getting to it.
Yeah, it's true. That's what makes what you do so interesting and important. And I love that it's local. And as part of the sponsorship program, now, are you looking for corporate sponsors right now?
Yes, so we
Great.
are in fundraising season right now because we do an annual brunch called the Stiletto Brunch. It's happening on October 25th this year. So we are looking for corporate sponsors to help us plan that event, execute that event, and that event raises money for our spring program, which is our Women in Leadership program, which by the time we work with each of the different schools and each of those schools have their events together, it's all called the Women in Leadership Tour. But yeah, we are fundraising so that we can do our Stiletto Brunch and raise money for the spring.
And if they go on your website, she'saboss.org, they'll
Mhm.
see right on the homepage, Stiletto Brunch, that you
Yeah.
can't miss it. It's right on the homepage of her website. I really hope that everybody out there listening who is in the corporate world will consider investing as a sponsor to this program and helping a young woman, get access to resources and, help get them a mentor that's going to bring them to places that they really want to go. This program really makes a difference in the capital region and in all of New York. And the ripple effects, we'll
Yeah.
never know. We'll never know how far the ripple effects of what something like She's a Boss does. And I always sit there and amaze and I'm like, man, God is great. He does some great, crazy stuff that like I can't even just begin to imagine all of the connections that end up getting made beyond that. And that, again, that ripple effect of how far, wide, and long the reach of the effects this program has on people goes. Because I guarantee you, so these women grow up to be mentors one day, and
Yeah.
it just continues the process. So it's a beautiful thing that you're doing. And I mean, I think that you're a wonderful person, and I'm so happy that we got the opportunity to meet, and that I'm really happy you're sharing about this beautiful non-for-profit on the show. I hope that everybody will consider visiting she'saboss.org and supporting the program. Share about it. If you can't financially give, share about the program. Liska is available on LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. She's got the website you can reach her at, and she's extremely approachable, easy to talk to, and an absolute darling. Thank you so much for spending some time with us this morning and sharing about what you do and the
Thank you.
impact that you're having. Thank you. And if you ever need anything, you let Friday's Flavor know, girl.
I will, of course I will, especially when it says Friday's flavor. I mean, who doesn't like flavor?
Girl, it was so good to have you on. Happy Friday, everybody. God bless.
Bye.